Right, we're back to discuss someone who's been making a few waves in the headlines these last few weeks, Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, someone I love Billy Joe.
Yeah, so do I. He's definitely, well, he's humorous, I know that.
Yeah, he's controversial. He's a good boxer. Right, let's get down to
let's start about his boxing abilities.
Yeah,
first.
because this is someone that we both
I think
rate.
he's very underrated.
Yeah, he is underrated. He's very underrated, right?
He has close, right, he makes his fights closer than they should be in that. People think, I don't know. I just think he's got a good boxing brain. I think he's just a smart boxer. He's not exciting to watch. He's just, well, I don't know. It depends how you like your fighters. If you think Mayweather's exciting, then I suppose you think he's exciting. Because to me, it's that similar approach. I'm not saying he's Mayweather, far from it, but you know, he's a thinker, isn't he? Yeah. He boxes with his brain.
Yeah. So we'll talk about his recent win over Andy Lee anyway. That was a good win, and that was
how we thought it was going to go.
The second that fight got announced,
and I remember arguing with a lot of people.
The second that fight got announced,
what was it? It was on a Box Nation video on YouTube, and I remember all these people ripping into me saying, "Oh, Andy Lee's going to knock him out."
You can even look on there. Look on the comments.
Yeah, and that was it basically. I went back there after the fight and said, I think you don't owe me an apology now, because the way they was going in on me, it was like I didn't know nothing about boxing, but I was like, trust me, he's going to beat him on points.
Yeah, beat him on points. It was going to be a points win all day.
I did say it was going to be convincing. It wasn't as convincing as I thought, but
it wasn't a good fight.
Lockdown and that,
I'm going to say this right now, it wasn't a good fight. I don't think it was a good fight.
I enjoyed the first half of it, but then Billy Joe just sort of fell asleep again. Like
Andy Lee didn't want to engage, and it made the fight worse. You know,
Andy Lee fought like Klitschko fought against Fury.
Yeah,
really cautious beyond the jab. It was like too scared to get in there because of the knockdowns. After the knockdown, it fucked Andy Lee up. He was too scared to get dropped again. And to be honest, I think he deserved a bit of credit because the way he recovered, because the knockdown was a pretty good knockdown. I thought he was going to finish the fight in that round.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping he would.
But yeah, that's done and dusted. He's the world champ now anyway, and so. Right, where does he go from here?
Well,
obviously
we all know the major what's going on right now.
We know Triple G's after that belt.
He wants all the belts. Yeah. We know that he makes that apparent.
I don't want him to fight Eubank again. Eubank, for me,
I
would. It's a fight I wouldn't mind watching again, but for me, I just don't think Billy Joe needs it. It's like he doesn't need to risk it. But I don't want him giving Eubank a free shot. In all honesty, because I don't think he deserves it. Just because of his dad's name, he shouldn't get the fights whenever he feels like he should.
For me, if he doesn't fight Billy Joe, if he doesn't fight Golovkin, then I would just the Cotto fight.
But, you know how it goes. Look at I hate to keep banging on about Wilder, but these boxers, when they win titles and that, their first few fights always seem to be against low-level boxers.
Yeah, you can't blame him for having a couple.
Yeah, I expect he's going to have a couple of poor defences, maybe a big fight summertime. Well, we say big against someone of name, of note.
Right, is he scared of Golovkin?
Well, you can look back for his Eye from London interviews, and I suppose most people say he's shit scared of him because he says he'd beat him, me and Eubank on the same night, one man behind his back, all that sort of thing.
But most people that
think that's tongue in cheek. It's just Billy Joe.
Yeah.
You know, just exaggerating a bit. He knows Golovkin's good.
Basically, like I heard him the other day. He said he was saying it just to put fear into Eubank more, as if to say, what are you calling out? What are you calling out him for when you can't even beat me anyway? Yeah. Like, you know, he's way above me, and I'm above you.
It's just like, I can't really see a fight with Canelo happening.
Nah.
I think the more realistic fight out of the top names is going to be along with the Quillin, Jacobs, around that sort of.
Yeah, different organisations.
I can't really see him fighting like a Canelo or Golovkin anytime soon, in all honesty. I think the only chance of that happening is once Billy Joe's a big name in a household name.
I think the Cotto fight could potentially happen, but there's nothing getting talked about. But that's a fight I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Oh, Cotto. Yeah. I suppose Cotto maybe. Yeah, but then the Cotto. I feel like Cotto might retire now. I wouldn't be surprised if Cotto doesn't fight again.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be the case with him. He hasn't really got nothing left to prove. He's been champion at a few weeks.
It's a good fight. I'm not even going to sit here.
In all honesty, is Cotto going to get a bigger payday now than that Canelo fight? I don't think he is.
Nah, and he's definitely not going to get that. He's not even going to get 20% of that
to fight him. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, I can't see Cotto having another big fight.
It depends whether
he might have a retirement fight maybe against someone. That's about it.
Yeah, look, I don't really want to break down that fight because it's just not something that's happening. But I wanted to address like the obviously the 78 Sports
That's been making a bit of headlines last few days on Twitter, on Eye from London. I think they was mentioning it, and Billy Joe been like having a part.
I respect 78 Sports. But I don't watch his channel, but I've watched a few videos. I ain't watched them videos talking about Billy Joe, but from what we're hearing,
I don't really know.
From what we're hearing, it was disrespectful towards Billy Joe, as if to say, I want to actually fight you.
Oh, was it?
Like, as if he, right. I don't know, I'm not 100% on that, but that's what I've been seeing as if he was calling them out, as if he wants to fight him. Which is just
stupid.
It's a bit absurd. He's just a boxing commentator, isn't he? He's just,
like, you can come out and say, "Oh, why are you running from Golovkin or something?"
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
you can't
yeah.
come out threatening the geese like
right.
you're fighting.
And if he's thinking Billy Joe, if he's thinking
respect.
Billy Joe's a soft touch and he's a scared, right? Let me tell you something about his record and resume, yeah. Because I'm from England and I've watched them fights, and maybe you're going on to Billy Joe's resume. And you're looking at it.
American or English?
He's American, right? And he's got a lot of American followers.
I've noticed a lot of Americans talk a lot of trash about Billy Joe. Like, I heard someone talking about Billy Joe before, saying, "Oh, he's boring, blah blah blah." And then at the end of the conversation, he said he's never watched a fight of his. So I just thought, you can't really say anything when you've never watched the guy fight.
Yeah. And I wanted
if you're sitting there watching a 2-minute highlights video on YouTube,
Yeah.
then to me, you shouldn't really have an opinion on it.
No, you can't. That's what I mean, and that's the same in any argument in boxing. And I was going to quickly say about a few fighters that he's got on his resume.
When was the last time we didn't watch a Billy Joe Saunders fight?
No, watching for years. Right, I just want to quickly mention a few wins, right? I want to start with the Nick Blackwell fight, which was in 2012, right?
Yeah.
People that might go...
People in America won't know Nick Blackwell is.
If you go onto his resume, you're from America, you don't know who Nick Blackwell is, most likely you won't know who he is unless you're a proper hardcore boxing fan following it from around the world. Nick Blackwell was 12-1 at the time. Let me tell you something right now. Nick Blackwell is the British middleweight champion, and he's lined up to fight Eubank now. Eubank Jr. He is a good fighter.
He's a very exciting fighter. I actually go out my way to watch Nick Blackwell fight because I know you get an entertainment every single time.
Yep.
And he's fighting Eubank, which to me, I've got entertainment all over it.
Yeah.
See, you'll think I'm joking now. If that was I'd rather pay to watch that on pay-per-view than I'd rather watch Kell Brook versus Bizier.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm actually would get money's worth out of that fight.
Yep. Right. So look, we've said that. Like, I could talk about Nick Blackwell more because he is a very good fighter.
I like him. He's still, even though he had that loss to Billy Joe, that you can't discredit him because of that, because he was young. He's still young now, and that he's a good talent. He's a good boxer. He's very exciting to watch. Right,
and then we move on to another, which at the time was a great win when he fought Gary O'Sullivan the year later. It was 16-0, and Gary O'Sullivan can punch.
Right, definitely.
Let me read you out the scorecards from that fight. 120, 109, 120, 109, 119, 110. It was, and I remember watching it, and it was absolute. I can't even think of a punch that O'Sullivan landed, let alone winning a round. It was that one-sided.
Am I right or am I wrong? Yeah. When Spike O'Sullivan was fighting Eubank Jr., I think that was quite divided in opinions who was going to win that fight.
Oh, I don't know how, but I didn't have that opinion. But
most people, boxing people, but I'm reading on Twitter and a lot of English fans, like obviously he's Irish.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually wanted Spike O'Sullivan to win.
Yeah, they wanted. I think it was more they wanted him to win.
Yeah, I know.
But it was still, what I'm saying, for Billy Joe, that was still a good win. He beat undefeated. He beat undefeated Gary Sullivan, and then you move on to later on in that year. 2 months later, he fought against John Ryder.
Yeah. Who we all know what John Ryder's.
Yeah.
He's another game.
He's not soft touch.
Tough. Yeah.
That was a closer fight.
Tough fight.
That was
on the weekend though.
Well, John Ryder, if you didn't know this already, John Ryder fought against Nick Blackwell for the vacant British title.
What fight that was?
And it was. And John Ryder was beating him.
That was like a big card. Was it that Royal Britannia card? I know it was on one of the cards.
Yeah, I think it was on that. I think it was on that.
I think it was on that. That was a stacked card.
Yeah, I think it was on that.
I think that was one of the first fights on the card, and it was one of the best fights on it.
Yeah.
Brilliant fight that was.
Yeah. So and that was a closer fight for Billy Joe, but still, like, there was, Billy Joe showed his skills again.
Yeah.
Boxing, great boxing skills. And then next year, it was about 8-9 months later, he fought for the European title when he fought against Emmanuel Blandamora. Yeah. Now I ain't gonna sit here and say I know everything about Emmanuel Blandamora because I didn't know him. I didn't know who he was at the time.
He knocked him out as well, didn't he?
He knocked him out, yeah. With a brilliant counter, right hand counter punch, had him wobbled. He was in serious danger. Billy Joe moved in for the kill, and the ref had to stop it because it was getting.
Obviously, you weren't a great opponent for him, but it's just that's how it goes with progression. You go up, you fight for the European title before you step to the world stage, and he done what he had to do.
And now I'm going to say this. A few months, I think it was 3 or 4 months later after that fight, he fought against Eubank Jr. Right?
Yep.
And now how much I do rate Eubank Jr. And I did.
You rate him higher than I do.
Yeah, I rate him because he is a force to be reckoned with. Because that is one man who is not easy to beat.
No, he's not.
He is not easy to beat.
I think he's vulnerable defensively.
I'm not even I thought Eubank was going to win the fight.
Offensively, Eubank's a great fighter.
Even though I've watched Billy Joe and Eubank, most of their fights I watched all of Eubank's fights, like from the start, and I've watched all of Billy Joe's major fights.
Well,
I did think Eubank was going to win.
I don't know if it is because I wanted Billy Joe Saunders to win, but I backed him the whole way through. I picked him to win the fight, but then also I thought, am I being too biased? Right? When it comes to the scorecard, some people were saying Eubank clearly won the fight, blah blah blah. I felt
what you think?
I felt Billy Joe Saunders did win the fight, and even 6-7 months later, I thought, right, I'm going to go and watch this now, and not be biased about it, and actually sit there and try and be neutral about the fight.
Yeah, you're not a fan of it. You're not a fan of it.
The second time, I was more convinced that I think it was more convincing the second time I watched it. Billy Joe did definitely win that fight.
Yeah, he did. He
did win the fight.
He did.
He done what he had to do. He wasn't.
He did.
Obviously, he wasn't doing anything spectacular. He wasn't spectacular. Eubank looked the flasher, better boxer, but
it was ugly.
That's the thing I like about Billy Joe Saunders. He can win ugly. You know, a lot of boxers win like that.
Yeah.
If you haven't got this amazing aggression and knockout power, like you can't just all of a sudden just turn into a boxer where you're just going to go in there and come forward like throw these massive hooks like Eubank does. That's not his style.
No, it's not. He's way more smart.
See, people don't realise as well that he's brought up in a gypsy background where they box quite similarly, gypsies, don't they? You know what I mean? They're taught, they box basically, you know what I mean? They fight behind the jab and that's how they box.
He's got a stellar amateur career as well.
I was about to say.
I'm pretty sure he was. I'm not sure if he was gold or silver medalist in the Commonwealth Games.
Silver, I think.
And in the this is in the Commonwealth. I think he won a gold Commonwealth or silver Commonwealth. And I think he was an Olympian, but there was something between something with a woman. I don't want to go into it too much because I don't know the full story, but I'm pretty sure there was some...
when he said he ain't got no interest in women's boxing.
No. When he was as an amateur, he got kicked out of the Olympic Games or something along them lines something to do with a woman.
I read that only a little while ago.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't
remember it.
We can't say too much. We don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, the Eubank win was.
That was it. Something happened abroad where he got done for some sort of sexual harassment or something or exposure or something like that. I think he flashed a woman or something stupid. But that's just Billy Joe Saunders.
That sounds like Billy Joe.
That's one of the reasons I think we find him hilarious. Honestly, obviously he wasn't unless he was out there raping someone, and then I wouldn't find it hilarious. And
then he went on after the Eubank fight, which was a great win for me, to beat Andy Lee, which we thought he was going to do.
See, if he beats Eubank, that literally confirms to me he beats Andy Lee.
Yeah,
because if Andy Lee fought Eubank, I think everyone would.
Not
everyone, but most people would expect Eubank to beat him. I know Andy Lee carries power and that, but he's just not technically great, is he? He's not skillful. He's quite easy to hit.
Yeah, I don't rate him.
I think he's got power. Like there's a few. I'm not going to go there again. But you know, there's another boxer out there I think who's just like that.
Yeah,
he's vulnerable, but he's got that power shot that could always change a fight for him.
Right, and we know. Well, we've heard stories about the Andy Lee. Well, because obviously, if you didn't notice already, that Adam Booth is training Andy Lee and Eubank Jr. at the moment. And in the build-up to that fight, there was sparring going on between Eubank Jr. and Andy Lee. Andy Lee was getting pastings, wasn't he? Let's be honest.
I don't know. I don't really know too much about that, to be honest, because
he
sparring. You all fight.
Yeah, sparring. Eubank. Yeah. Eubank takes sparring.
Getting his rib broke by Golovkin before.
And let's be honest, we've seen. Well, it's not hidden that Eubank takes his sparring seriously. He likes to impress in sparring. Mm-hmm. So I imagine he give Andy Lee a beat down at various times, and it don't surprise me. It don't surprise me because Eubank Jr. is a good fighter.
Yeah, he is. Well, I don't discredit him. Yeah.
Where does Billy Joe then, if he doesn't fight Golovkin, he's not going to.
I think the obvious thing is Frank Warren. That's his prize fighter in all honesty, isn't it? Who else has he got bigger than Billy Joe? I don't think he has anyone.
No, they've got a nice.
I like some. Who have they got? Terry Flanagan.
Mm-hmm.
They got Liam Smith.
Mm-hmm.
They're both world champs, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they've got a good little stable. Obviously, they haven't got the money and the limelight and exposure to compete with Eddie Hearn right now, but they're doing their little thing in that, and I enjoy it. I sometimes turn around and say, I watch Box Nation cards, that's better than any recent Eddie Hearn cards I've seen, and there'll be names I've never even heard of before.
Box Nation cards are always better.
I think they put on better 50-50 fights. Sky Sports, you kind of sense most of the time, you bet on it, it's like 6-7 fights, you're always going to bet on all the homes. It's very rare there's an upset there.
Yeah, it does happen though.
Yeah, like Luke Campbell. So
like Billy Joe, are we expecting him to be? Well, he deserves to take an easier fight, man. He's not had it. Wait, this was the main point I wanted to put across in the video. He hasn't had an easy-going record.
It's only British boxing fans who've got a bit of knowledge on boxing who will understand they ain't easy fights. None of them boxers. They're all durable, tough boxers who he's fought. Yeah. Obviously, apart from. We didn't really know too much about Blandamura, and who's the other one he fought just before the World Cup? Johan.
That was just a warm-up fight, literally just a warm-up fight.
Yeah, that's it. Other than that, they are tough fights.
Yeah. Yeah, and he is a tough dude, man. And what about
I think Billy Joe got a really good chin. I think it would take some punch to stop him. That's why, like I said in our previous video, yeah, that's what I mean. But you know, growing up in them gypsy fights and that, you're boxing literally 3 years old. They got you on the punch bag. Like that's what they're like. They're crazy like that. You're born into boxing, basically.
He's a proper gypsy.
If you're not boxing as a professional, you're literally down the lane having a fight over 10 grand or something.
Yeah, a little message to 78 because I don't agree. Well, I'm not. I don't want to go in too much because I ain't watched your video or addressing Billy Joe, but I would leave that out because you don't. It's not the sort of person that you want to be. You know, it wouldn't make sense, mate. To be honest with you, I mean, you're a huge. You talk about fights. Billy Joe does fights, and he does it well.
Yeah,
and it's just not something you want to go into, man. Let's just put it like
that. Unless you're getting in the ring yourself and fighting, then you shouldn't, talk like that about a boxer because you deserve the respect for getting in there and fighting.
We all know what happened to the troll that got onto doing it on a Wilder, man.
Yeah, I thought you were Beyonce then.
We all know what happened.
You sat around me too much.
I can't remember his name. What was his name? Zach? Saying?
I don't know.
Oh, I wish I knew his name. Yeah, that guy.
Nah, I personally felt.
I'm not saying that's going to happen.
I think Wilder should have been arrested for that as assault. Nah, that's what I'm joking.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, but like I wouldn't rule out Billy. He's a bit of a nutter.
Enough, right? Let's get on to this dick pic now. Well, this is mentally scarred me now.
Oh so my god!
I'm casually, looking down Billy Joe Saunders' tweet, see if he's been having a little beef with anyone. As I'm always looking at him and Tyson Fury because they entertain me. And I see a picture of his foot, which I thought, is he mocking David A or something like that? You could literally, if you go down his Twitter, you'll see a picture of like 4 of his toes.
Yeah, guys, just pre-warning, don't click on this picture
unless you are a homo.
Finish up the story, finish it off.
Yeah, basically, I would love to know why Billy Joe posted that. Yeah, there's most people thinking they're going to click and see a picture of his injured foot or whatever. Well, yeah, he has got an injured foot. He's got a bandage on it, but also he's got his knob hanging out in the picture for some random reason. Like, Billy Joe is off his head.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue. Well, only he knows why he posted that, but
he's just mad, isn't he?
I'd like for him to explain the reasons why.
Yeah, that's it's fucked up.
Yeah. Only Billy Joe or Tyson Fury would probably do something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh no, another thing I wanted to talk about actually was I noticed Golovkin was at West Ham on the weekend.
Yeah.
And I see a tweet about they've come over with a suitcase full of money and looking for Billy Joe Saunders and that. And there was a few tweets with Billy Joe tagged in from what's his name, Tom Loeffler and Golovkin, and I don't think he replied to any of them. I was in there,
No.
Staying a bit quiet on that scene, but alright. For me, as far as I can see, he can go a year, fight a couple of fights.
He said he wanted 18
months. There's got to be a time where, that's it. That's where I look at it. As long as he will fight him, as long as he stays champion, there's got to be the same as how I feel about Wilder. He's got to start. You can have a couple of these C-level, B-level fights, but you can't.
It's not in you. It's not really in Saunders' blood, man. That guy just takes tough fights, and I'm not expecting him to take soft touch.
I think Billy Joe would fight him, but I think the way Billy Joe looks at it. He's a gypsy.
Have you got
all about the money.
Have you got the rankings up for the?
Get them up.
For
because some of these boxers for his belt.
Okay. Who's his mandatory right now?
Right, his mandatory. Well, it's not rated number 1, and he's got Arif Magomadov.
Yeah.
Hugo Centeno Jr.
Who I'm surprised he's ranked that high.
And Tom Douglas. I'm pretty sure. I've seen him fight recently, or I've seen him in the news recently for something. It might be someone else, but I'm sure.
I'm thinking of Dennis Douglas. That's one I'm thinking of. I'm not too sure on him.
And then obviously, see when you look at him, he's obviously going to be fighting.
Look, we've even got
Hassan and Dam in there.
This WBO rankings is crazy. They got Tommy Langford. If you don't know Tommy Langford, he's just a prospect. I'm pretty sure he's only 10, 11 and 0.
See, was that the one who fought on the Klitschko undercard? I can't remember who the one was fought on the Klitschko undercard.
No, it wasn't Tommy. Tommy Langford fought last week. He is a big middleweight, but still, that WBO. If you check out the WBO middleweight rankings, there's some easy touches there for Billy Joe, and I can't see him taking the fights because they're not big enough
on most boxers. But this WBO ranking it shows how much I pay attention to that because I'm always looking at the WBC, WBO.
Yeah.
I know what Tarano Johnson. There's a few names in there I know, but like Andre Muryasev, never Kerry Hope. There's some names in there.
Yeah. Dominic Wade's a good fight there, but he's at 15, and it's a weak. It's weak. The WBO's weak, and Billy Joe Saunders has got some weak touches if he wants to take them, but I don't think he will. I think
Billy Joe's money fights there are unification fights.
Looking at that makes me think the Eubank fight should happen.
Not for me. I'd rather a unification fight with Jacobs or something.
It's not going to happen.
I can see the Eubank fight happening again, but I feel like Eubank's got to earn his shot. He's got to go and beat some couple credible names before he deserves a title shot, in my opinion.
Right, should we leave it there?
Yeah, we'll just let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Anyone knows what Billy Joe was doing with his pictures on Twitter, let us know.
Yeah.